Hello one and all, my name is John and this is my site and it's called Tarot Journeys. In it I want to discuss various things on tarot, hopefully with you and your expert opinions and your slant on things and not just mine. The deck I shall be using will be the Crowley Thoth deck, as I have found that the other decks just don't make it for me, and the one that I get reads from and the deck that indeed talks to me is this Crowley deck. I find that the astrological attributions, the Hebrew lettering, the symbolism on it is second to none. Anyway, it's horses for courses, but it is my favourite deck. The bad points that people say is that the Thoth Tarot can't wait to deliver bad news. And to a certain extent this is very true, because the cards, the dark cards, are very stark. They don't butter things up, they don't look pretty, they don't have a bouquet of roses around them. They are what they are, and they tell what is. And I understand this is very off-putting to a lot of people, but it is the way I like it, and to see what challenges are to be met is very important. I'm going to start the Tarot Journeys with probably the most misunderstood card of all. And it means so many things. And the card I'm talking about is this one. It is the Fool. Now the Fool comes before 1. This is the most earliest of all tarot, because this is the God head, if you like, itself. This is the representation of God. This card is both male and female, as the creator is. Now I'd like to, before we get into this, read an excerpt from Paul Foster Case. Now I shall be going to this again for another reading. This is what the book looks like, the front cover. Now Paul Foster Case was the founder of the Adatum. Now this book contains meditations on all the tarot majors. I'll put this down for a minute. And this describes the Fool very much. I shall just read the first paragraph. I am, without beginning, without end, older than night or day, younger than the babe newborn, brighter than light, darker than darkness, beyond all things and creatures, yet fixed in the heart of everyone. Now I thoroughly recommend you buying this book, and eventually you do get to understand it. I've read it about 5.5 million times and I'm just starting to get a handle on it, but it is well worth the read and well worth the meditation on this. And he does point out that you say these verses out loud. Now to me as well, the Thoth deck is the only deck that features the Fool correctly. Now in other decks you have them stepping over a cliff, or on a horse going over a crevasse with water, but this shows the 3 veils of negativity, the 3 veils emanating from the heart. This is the heart of creation. The 3 veils precede, these are negative veils, precede the tree of life. Of course the tarot is heavily involved with the tree of life, and I will be doing another video on that later. But you have the 3 veils from whenceforth the Fool came from. Now as you can see, his feet are firmly planted in the air. This is because he came out of nothing, out of nothingness into everythingness. The 3 veils, incidentally, which I will go into on another video, are called Ein, Ein Sof and Ein Sof Now we have the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God in the dove. We have the butterfly signifying transformation. We have grapes, which signifies abundance. we also have material exchanges on Earth, which are planetary, zodiacal and elemental. The moment something manifests, it is then elemental structures. We have also Sebek, the crocodile, called the Devourer. And above him, if you look very carefully, is the moon. On the groin area is the sun. Now the sun is the male self-expression. The moon is the feminine expression. We have the 3 flowers underneath the groin area, which I would think would be something to do with the supernal triangle, the first 3 Sephiras that are above the abyss, which is the materialization. So we have the trinity of the 3 flowers, which give birth to the children, male, female in this case. Now, the Fool can mean many things. It is the other 21 trumps inside of it. You have, with the Fool, the beginning, which it's often associated with spring, the beginnings of things, but it is also the middle and the ending, and this I will explain in a while. Now, I want to read another, before we carry on, excerpt from Paul Foster Case again, regarding dualities. Now, this is from the devil. This is the meditation on Ayin, which means I. Thus saith he who formuleth in darkness, I am Lord, not of light alone, but of darkness also. For I am the one, am all pervading. Now, to qualify that, I will read another part from the Fool. And it says, for seeing thus shalt thou see too, that nothing is or can be my antagonist. All and in all shall I fight myself? What hath power to limit or defeat the very source of power? In other words, the Fool is the representation of God itself. Out of nothing came God. Now this is representation of the whole of mankind, good, bad. The devil in most cases is the shadow self, the bit that everybody likes to keep hidden. We all have them. It is quite natural. Now, I'm just using this prompt sheet here to remind me where I am. Now, the Fool also has terminology. Foolhardy, foolishness, foolish intent. These are all reflections of the Fool, which is the first step of innocence. Now, aces, which we will come on to later, are on the minor trumps. They are of Kether, which is the first Sephiras. All the suit from the ace is in the suit of the ace. The ace is the essence of that suit. It is the idea before the idea, if you like. It is what can be, which is what Kether is. Now, I shall be talking more of the tree of life because this is very much in with the tarot, and in particular with the Crowley deck. It is very, very much in. Now, as I said, the 21 trumps are contained within the Fool in some part or another. The Fool's journey is with the High Priestess and the Magician. You have the unconscious feminine, you have the conscious masculine, if you like. You have the application of the unconscious for the conscious, and with the conscious level with unconscious. The two are together. So you have the male and female formula, the both sexes in this card. So you could say it's the journey of the High Priestess and the Magician as well. Now, Where are we now? Oh yes, for those who are very discerning, there is actually a triangle that meets to the heart area and across the sun, which adjoins. Now I would call that the supernal triangle, but this could also represent Tifereth, which is the sixth Sephirah. This is the Sephirah of gods and deities on the middle path. Again, we will talk more of the Tree of Life. Now, I have studied the Thoth Tarot for a long time, and every time I see something different and different and different in all the cards. And the symbology that it contains, you find that you have to work with symbology because the meanings of one card can be thousands of miles long in a read according to that situation. So I am forever seeing things, and I suggest that you use a magnifying glass to look at these cards, especially if you're going to meditate on them. Again, I will talk about that later on. But I want to talk about the zero, the naught, being the biggest number there is, and to explain the out of nothingness comes everythingness. I'm going to use an analogy, 3 of them in actual fact. The first one is a speedometer. The needle rests on naught, so before it does anything, it doesn't do anything. Then it goes to 9, and then it goes to 10. Then it goes up in digits from 10, 20, 30. So you have a naught that starts, a naught that becomes in the middle, and to add the speed and increase the speed, you would add lots of noughts on the end. Therefore, you have nothing at the beginning, nothing in the middle, and nothing at the end. I'll take this a bit further. A womb, which obviously gives birth to babies, but before the birth, the womb is empty. After procreation, the womb becomes full and a baby is born. Then the womb is empty. So we have emptiness preceding a filling, preceding an emptiness again. Another analogy, this was my friend pointed this out. He said in an argument against it, if you have a mobile phone and you don't take it away with anything, you've still got one mobile phone. Now that's very true. But if you add nothing to that mobile phone, that one mobile phone, you have 9 others without adding nothing to it. And to take it further, if you take away that mobile phone, you have nothing again, as you had nothing in the first place. So you have nothing preceding the 1, preceding the 10. You ended up with nothing. So nothing starts, nothing in the middle, and nothing at the end. Excuse my prompt sheet again. Now, if we take it a step further, we can see that the 0, if you were to twist it in the middle, would represent the sign of infinity. This is known as a lamnoscate. Now this is above, on the Rider-Waite deck, this is above the magician's head. It is also on the magician's belt in the Rider-Waite, where the snake is swallowing its own tail. This is the sign of infinity. This means forever, forever, plus 1, plus another 1, plus it just goes on and on and on. And this is only with a 0. There is no other number. So there you have the biggest number that there can be with nothing. So I'm sure you're catching my drift on this one. Now, the Fool is very difficult to define because it means nothing, but it means everything. I want to leave you with a thought until the next video. Out of nothing we came, out of nothing we shall return. This is John. See you again. Thank you.